My name is Barbara Lorenz-Paszyk. I work at the University of Bielsko-Biała in Poland. I am very happy to be able to participate in this conference and to talk to you about enhancing EFL teacher training through international collaboration with the use of video conferencing. Before I start, let me give you an overview of my presentation. So first, I'm going to briefly comment on the rapidly growing role of video conferencing in education and also in the area of teaching English as a foreign language. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about our project. This is in fact one of the series of projects which have been the result of collaboration with the University of León in Spain and which have been carried out with the use of video conferencing. Next, I'm going to discuss the summary of the feedback that we obtained from the participating students and teachers. And finally, I will provide you with the list of conclusions drawn from this project, which may also work as recommendations for similar initiatives. The term video conferencing is used to describe a system where two or more participants in different, often geographically remote locations can interact using specialized equipment or simply specialized software. Another important aspect here is high-speed internet connection, allowing good transfer of image and sound. Of course, with the quality of online transmission increasing and the reduced costs of computer equipment, video conferencing is becoming popular and accessible. However, there is one more important challenge to it when we talk about technicalities and logistics, that is, organizing sessions in real time. In case of student groups, it means finding the time slot that would suit both student groups, teachers, and their timetables. We also need to take into consideration different time zones. The advantages of video conferencing in the field of language learning have been discussed by many scholars and educators from many perspectives. The role of video conferencing in fostering the development of intercultural competence has been, for example, recognized in cross-cultural business communication. What seems to be an unquestioned benefit of video conferencing reflected in a number of studies is the development of foreign language communicative skills. For example, distance learners of Chinese were believed to better and faster acquire this language as a result of video conferencing supported negotiation of meaning. In another study, it was suggested that pupils of both lower and higher abilities tend to see video conferencing as helpful in learning to speak French. Better students were more motivated by their video conferencing participation, and the lower ability students became more self-confident in speaking as a result. When talking about advantages of video conferencing, we may also want to emphasize that it clearly has certain advantages over computer-mediated communication. For example, it requires immediate responses, allows for non-verbal communication channel, and it is, as some studies claim, very close to authentic situation, and there are no significant differences in performances between the video conference mode and face-to-face situations. Bearing in mind the above mentioned, in our project we wanted to incorporate video conferencing into EFL Teacher Training program. The participants were two groups of MA students from two universities, University of León in Spain and University of Bielsko-Biała in Poland. As students don't usually have many opportunities to interact in English with foreigners, applying the video conferencing tool would help extend the communicative experience. It also needs to be mentioned that this project was a part of a series of projects carried out between the two institutions in which students majoring in English both at the BA and MA level could develop their English language competence through different tasks. However, the aims of this project were to provide the ELT teacher trainees with opportunities to design and evaluate ELT teaching materials. Here are some details of the tasks in the project. The trainees were given 3 weeks to get together in groups of 3 or 4 and as a team they were asked to design a series of activities for English learners. They were given specific instruction as for the level of English language competence, the time limits, and the topic of the activities. The plans of the activities were to be exchanged between the respective university teams prior to the video conference so that the audience could analyze the task plans and didactic materials. During the final stage of the project, the video conference, the teams from both countries were to present feedback, evaluation, and suggested modifications of the task. It should be highlighted that during the video conference, the students had to perform tasks both as members of an evaluation team and as the members of the team that had authored a particular series of tasks. In the final stage of the project, we interviewed the published participants and asked them to share their comments and opinions about the experience. First of all, a vast majority of participants, 85%, said that they valued most the opportunity to interact in real time with foreigners in English. They also seemed to appreciate the fact that they could interact with foreign students whose profile of studies and area of expertise is similar to their own. A slightly smaller number of students, 69%, admitted that enhancing their professional expertise in didactic material development was the most valuable aspect of the project. As for indicating the areas that needed improvement, the students most frequently, 75%, suggested closer collaboration between the international teams and thus avoiding any misunderstandings in formulating task requirements. And they also mentioned, 85%, that the contact time between the teams via video conferencing should be greater. And finally, let me summarize the feedback of the participating teachers. Both teachers admitted that the project and its tasks were highly motivating for the students, highly rewarding for the teachers, a very good example of learner-centered activity. However, it is important to remember that it required a lot of task planning and preparation. I hope that this project showed that video conferencing can offer a great potential for training EFL teachers, English language learners, as it can create a stimulating learning environment and allow the opportunity for face-to-face interactions despite large distances. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you are interested in collaborating in similar projects, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.